I've only got $1,000 available in my small trading account. But that's okay, because I'm going to show you how I use that money to earn $200 in just 30 days using the stock option wheel strategy. Hi and welcome. If you're new to my channel, I'm Jim Ray. I'm the creator of Simple Option Trading. It's where I make it my mission to help beginning investors learn how to trade stock options so they can generate a monthly income. So I get it. Not everybody has tens of thousands or hundreds of $1,000s or even millions of dollars in their trading account. Well, now I'm going to show you how I use that small trading account to earn $200 in just 30 days. From a financial standpoint, what does that mean? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the math. So inside of my small trading account, I only have $1,000. And now my goal is to earn $200. So how do I calculate the return on my investment, or the ROI? Well, because I want to earn $200 based off of my $1,000 in my trading account, I'm looking at an ROI of 20%. And keep in mind, I want to do this in only 30 days. So given the current market conditions and the stocks that I've been watching, I think I can get this done using a stock option wheel strategy. Now, if you're not familiar with the wheel strategy, let me take a few minutes and show you what it's all about. If you're not familiar with the wheel strategy, the easiest way to describe it is that it combines two different option trading techniques. First, you sell a cash secured put, and that's followed by selling a covered call. Let's take a quick look at the option wheel strategy, starting with part 1, selling a cash secured put. The seller of a cash secured put chooses the terms and conditions of the option contract. Now, the seller will have the appropriate funds secured as collateral, and then the seller is able to place the option contract in the open market. A buyer that's interested in the option contract will actually pay the premium to the seller in order to purchase the option contract and retain the right to sell the shares of stock at an agreed upon strike price. So under the proper conditions, the buyer will get to exercise the option, and then the seller will be assigned the shares. And in order to complete this transaction, after the seller receives the shares, the seller is going to use their collateral to pay for those shares. Now let's look at the other half of an option wheel strategy, is part 2, selling a covered call. Now that the seller directly owns 100 shares of stock ABC Incorporated, they can sell a covered call option contract using those shares as collateral. Now an interested buyer that wants to purchase the option contract will pay the premium to the seller for the option contract. And if the option contract gets exercised, then the seller's shares that were reserved as collateral will be assigned to the buyer, and in return, the seller gets paid for those shares. So that was a quick look at the two activities that make up a wheel strategy. First, selling a cash secure put, and that's followed by selling a covered call. One of the unique characteristics that you'll notice about the wheel strategy is that the output of one activity feeds the input of the other activity. When a seller sells a cash secure put and receives the assigned shares, the seller can then immediately turn around and use those shares as collateral to sell a covered call. Then when the shares get assigned to the buyer, covered call gets exercised, the money that the seller receives can be used as collateral for selling yet another cash secured put. And the option trader can keep repeating this process over and over again, in a rotating fashion just like a wheel. This is a popular strategy for traders such as myself that like to focus on selling cash secured puts and covered calls. I like it because it's really simple to implement, and it allows me to focus on researching and tracking a single stock for a wheel. Plus it has a high probability of profitability because I get to set the terms and conditions of the trades. So of course, I always set them up in my favor. Okay, now that I'm starting a wheel strategy, the first thing I need to do is sell a cash secure put. And I've been following a stock called Bed Bath & Beyond, stock symbol BBBY. And it looks pretty well set up for executing this trading strategy. I went ahead and pulled the actual transaction record from my account history. And here you can see that I sold a cash secure put for stock symbol BBBY with a $10 strike price and an expiration date of September 2nd, 2022. Now you can see I submitted the order on August 29th, 2022, and it got filled that morning at 7:43 a.m. Pacific time. Now at the time I sold this cash secure put option contract, it was paying 81 cents per share as a premium. So when this option contract got filled, I received a total premium payment of $81, and that showed up as a credit deposited immediately into my trading account. Well, now let's jump forward to the expiration date, September 2nd, 2022. And we could see that the share price finished below my strike price, which means I got assigned the shares. And so now that I have these shares as a part of my portfolio, I can now turn around and execute step 2 of the wheel strategy and use those shares to sell a covered call. It's great. Now I've got the shares I want. I can now turn around and use them to sell a covered call. Let's go ahead and take a look at the option chain so I can plan my covered call option trading strategy. I've got my brokerage account opened up, and now I'm taking a look at the stock Bed Bath & Beyond, stock symbol BBY, and I want to take a look at the option trade. So I'm going to press Trade BBBY Options, and I want to sell a covered call, and I'm probably going to go something like a month out. So let's go to the end of September. So I'm going to pick September 30th. And for my covered call option trade, I'm going to use the $10 strike price, which is currently paying $1.20 in premium. So let me pause the screen right here and mention something real quick. You'll notice that I picked the $10 strike price. Now, if you don't understand why, the explanation is actually pretty simple. So when I first sold the cash secure put, I sold it with a $10 strike price, meaning I was willing to pay $10 per share for the 100 shares of BBBY. Now, when the shares got assigned to me, I used the collateral that I had reserved to pay for those shares. So I ended up paying $10 per share. So now, when I'm going to turn around, now that I have those shares, I'm going to use those shares to sell a covered call. And as a result, I want to make sure that I don't lose any money on the transaction. So at a minimum, I need to set the strike price, which is the price I'm willing to sell these shares for as a part of this covered call, to a price that either equals what I paid for them or higher. Now, I paid $10 per share, so I'm going to set my covered call strike price at also $10. So if I end up getting this covered call executed and it gets assigned to a buyer, they'll end up paying me $10 per share. So I'll break even on the share costs. I won't make any profit from the price appreciation, but I will collect the premium payment as part of my profit. So here's the actual transaction record from my account history, where you can see that I sold BBBY. I sold a covered call with a $10 strike price and an expiration date of September 30th, 2022. And I submitted this order on September 9th, and it was filled earlier that morning at 8:15 a.m. Pacific time. Now, at the time that I placed this order and it got filled, it was paying a premium price of $1.20 per share. So when it actually got executed and sold, I received a total premium payment of $120. And that got deposited immediately into my trading account. So that's perfect. I'll use those shares to sell a covered call and collect $1.20 per share in premium, or a total premium payment of $120. So now let's take a look at all the transactions. I started off with $1,000 and was able to sell a cash secure put and collect $81 as the premium payment. My option got exercised, and so the $1,000 that was reserved as my collateral were used to purchase those shares. And so now I have 100 shares of stock BBBY in my trading portfolio. Then I turned around and used those same shares to sell a covered call, in which I collected a total of $120 as the premium payment. So the total premium payments that I've collected for these transactions is $201. Now, on the covered call expiration date, if my shares get taken away, they'll get purchased from me at a cost of $10 per share. So I'll receive $1,000 for my shares, which is the original amount I started with in my small trading account. Plus, I'll have the $201 I collected for all the premium payments, bringing my total account balance to $1,201. Well, if you follow the stock market at all lately, you know that all the stocks have been taking a hit lately, including the stock I'm using for this wheel trade, Bed Bath & Beyond, stock symbol BBBY. In fact, if you'll check the share price, it's currently way below the share price that I originally paid, which was $10 per share. So now what am I supposed to do? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. I continue to sell covered calls using the shares that I have of BBBY, setting the strike price at $10, the price I originally paid, and every time I sell a covered call using those shares, I collect more and more premium. And I continue to do this over and over again until the option gets exercised at my strike price. Be sure to get my free one-button stock screener. It's the tool I use to help me pick stocks for option trades. You can download it at my website, simplestockscreener.com.